And good morning. Welcome to what's my show called? Hey everybody, welcome. I was just over at Monkey in the Morning, and so I'm kind of disoriented. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host Marty Johnson, aka Dawg Knight. And it's going to be a short show today because I was just over on Ranting Monkey's channel, and we were having a good time over there. But I see a whole bunch of people in here that I don't always see, so I'm going to say good morning to Alan Sawyer, Tarkata, Check Your Logic, Tyrai. Oh, that's the same thing Monkey can't pronounce. Tarai Deos. Deos? You're going to tell me how to say that someday. Cynical Lindsay, Reason Vision, Sarah, my moderator, Della Hayes, and Jason Burns. Good morning, everybody, and I'm sure more people will pop in as we go along. So I promised that I would do just a quick Jussie update this morning since I'm going to shorten my show. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to have a show tomorrow morning on, which would be Saturday, about this same time, roughly 9 a.m. Central, which would be 10 o'clock Eastern, and we'll just go from there. Now, obviously my title here is incorrect. I'm not going to spend, well, maybe I'll edit it while we're talking. Because this is actually the Morning Night Live number 20, which I'm going to just change that, and it's going to be a Jussie update. You get to watch me do my work, Jussie update, and that's all we're going to get to today, and then we'll move on from there. So, and I just can't help myself. I love this Jussie Smollett story. This dude, if you've been with us a lot, you know that this is about all I talk about. Although we do daily Twitter trends to see what people are going to be talking about the day, and we do some headlines from the day. So on normal days, we'd be doing a whole bunch more than just the Jussie update. Welcome also to Irish Rose, Zombie Teddy, Reason Vision. I think I said hello to you already. Check Your Logic. And yeah, it's good to have a bunch of people here. It's fun. It's fun to have more people on the show. So here we go. The Jussie update. I am constantly scouring Twitter just to figure out what's happening with Jussie Smollett. This story has just been driving me nuts. And so let's just get into it real quick. Now, a couple things that I pulled up this morning. Jussie's manager, who was with him. We found out some things about Jussie's manager yesterday, and let me just pop this article up here from People magazine. The man who was with Jussie Smollett after he was violently attacked. Now remember, he sustained no major injuries in this violent, brutal attack, except for a little scratch right here, and anyway. The man who was with Jussie Smollett after he was violently attacked in Chicago last week has spoken out. Finally, he has spoken out. Frank Gatson, reportedly Smollett's choreographer and creative director in Chicago, told Extra he was with the Empire Star the night of January 28th and had picked him up from the airport upon his arrival from New York City. I was there with Jussie, he said. I'm the one who called 911, and I'm the one who took him to the hospital. And it was so scary, man. That was a scary night. My stomach was numb. Now, this brings up a new question for me, because every day something new comes up where I'm like, what the hell are you talking about, dude? Oh, yes, I do have my reparations coffee. Thank you. I do have a Streamlabs. I don't use it that much. I've had a couple people who've done donations, but here's the thing that I really want you to do. In fact, I'm going to change my screen just so you can see me do this. As you can see, I don't have a ton of followers on here. If you could be so kind, right down here, this way, right down there, is a little arrow, and it says share. Please share this stream with somebody. I know that a lot of people see my channel and they see a bunch of live streams that are like an hour to an hour and a half long. But that would be the most. That would do the most for me right now. I would love to get the word out that we do this every day and we have some fun here. Okay, let's get back to this. So the questions I come up with when I read that sentence. So Jussie Smollett got a ride from the airport, decided he was hungry, and he's going to go to Subway. Now his friend was at his apartment. And Subway is about 6 blocks away. Now, those of you who've never seen this, let's take a look at the map. Here's the map, all right? Right there. Now, if you can see, I think you can see my cursor here. The subway, let's see, here's where Jussie Smollett lives, down here on East North Water Street. The subway is, let's see, where is it? I got to make the map bigger just to see the subway. And I don't mean subway like the kind of the train you get on, but I mean like Subway sandwich shop. It's right up here on this street, right about, where the hell is Target? What happened there? Here's Target. The subway, I got to make this map bigger. Hold up. There we go. All right. Now, you can't even see it on this map. You got to do it bigger and bigger. Hold on. Hold on. There it is. Subway right here. This is the subway. This is the Target. This is the street that he walked to his apartment, which is approximately right here at Eastwater and North Park Street. Or somewhere right here. And there's some bar. And there's the Grand Sheraton in Chicago. I think that's kind of in the area he was staying in. So, wait a minute. Mr. Manager Man says he picked him up from the airport. Okay, that's good. And then it's 10 below zero. Why is Jussie walking the subway anyway? This dude's supposed to be a television star. He's on this hit show, Empire. And he's walking to Subway? Why? And then he walks back and all this bad stuff happens to him. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I'm sorry. What? Wait, hold on. What? Oh, not on mobile there isn't. Well, you know, it depends on how you do it. If you have the mobile in portrait versus landscape, and then you look down there, it says share right below there. But if you leave it on portrait, then you just see the chat going up in front of your screen. So you'll figure it out. I'm just telling you. Anyway, so why is he walking the subway and walking back? Because the guy was gonna he picked him up from the airport and he drove him. And then when he got back and they did all this stuff with the police, he drove him to the hospital where he got checked out and was released in good condition. Anyway, so let me finish this. I'm just glad I was the old man at his apartment when he got there, he continued. I was responsible. I said, let's call the cops. Let's go to the hospital. Shout out to the Chicago police, especially the sergeant that came and got things together and made us feel comfortable. Oh, I'm so glad they helped you feel comfortable. Here's the other problem. Okay, so it just tells the same story that they confirmed in a statement that a member of the hit show Fox show is involved in a racially charged assault and battery. 2 unknown offenders approached him and gained his attention by yelling out racial and homophobic slurs toward him. The statement continued. The offenders began to batter the victim with their hands and about the face and poured an unknown chemical substance on the victim. At some point during the incident, one of the offenders wrapped a rope around the victim's neck and the offenders fled the scene. And that is coming right out of the police report. Do I still have that? Yeah, I have it right here. So this is the police report and it says all that. And some things that are distinctly missing from the original police report is that the thing about the MAGA country, that was never said in the first interview. Also, it did not say the race or and even the gender of the people who attacked him. And so there's a couple things that were missing from there that after the police heard from the TMZ report that these guys shouted MAGA country and whatever, the police came back and interviewed him again and he goes, oh yeah, that's right, that they did that too. And then the manager said he heard it himself because he was on the phone with Jussie Smollett when the attack happened. Now, for those of you who haven't been here, you also need to know that the video footage that they have so far, because they've been scouring all the different video cameras and surveillance systems that are all around that area. Some are from the city, some are from the other buildings, some are from the Target parking lot, just things like that. And they've been scouring over hundreds and hundreds of hours of video footage. They have actual video footage of Smollett walking from the subway, which is up here on the map, all the way down to his apartment, except for there's one moment where they don't have any footage that's about 60 seconds long, where they see him walking all this spot, and when he reappears going into his building 60 seconds later, he has the rope draped around his neck like a tie, and he's walking into the building. And then he walks, they have surveillance footage of him walking right past the security guard in the building, and then he goes up to his apartment. So he didn't say anything to the security guard, didn't seem stressed as he's walking, just in the building, right upstairs, didn't tell him to call the police. Now, later too, the friend here. What's his friend's name? His friend's name is, what's his name? This manager dude. Oh, where is it? What the hell's his name? Frank Gatson. Frank Gatson said, well, yeah, Frank Gatson's one who wanted to call the police, and Jussie didn't want to call the police, but then they thought, well, maybe he should. So anyway, so there's a 60-second window right now where this attack could have happened, and the police have found more footage. They are, they have more footage that they're going over, and they're going to look for that. Also, they've discovered the type of rope here. I will go back here into, I think, where is I had it right here. So I'm sorry, I'm not being as prepared as I wanted to be. Which one is the one with the rope? Well, anyway, they've discovered the type of rope it is and the manufacturer, and there's some retail outlets in that area where they could have bought the rope. I've been saying from the beginning that perhaps they should check the Target store. And see if they can go through Target footage, see if they find somebody buying some rope. I'll bet you donuts to dollars that somebody who Jussie Smollett knows will be discovered as the purchaser of that rope. That's my personal opinion. Now, I've also been following Rob Elgas. He's with ABC in Chicago. He's kind of my go-to guy on anything Jussie Smollett right now because he has local contacts with the police. He goes to all the briefings. And let's see, it's right here. Here we go. So, according to Frank Gatson's man, oh, let's see. Sorry about that. Okay, where is it? Yeah, I'm just glad it was the old man. Oh, here we go. One last now on the record comment by Frank Gatson, who was with Jussie Smollett after the attack. I'm the one who picked him up to the airport last night, and I feel selfish I didn't walk with him that night in minus 10-degree weather where he's bundled up. Also, they have discovered the type of rope. I already told you that. They're scouring some other places. So, like I said, every day there's something new with the Jussie Smollett case that I just find fascinating. Also, right now, the Chicago police chief says that Jussie Smollett will be held accountable here, I'll just pull up the whole article here. If the attack is exposed as a hoax. Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie, excuse me, I need some more of my reparations coffee here. All right, Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson said Tuesday that actor Jussie Smollett would face consequences if found to have filed a fake police report on a supposed attack on himself by Trump-supporting bandits. That's hilarious. Trump-supporting bandits. Good God. A police chief remarks could serve as the strongest indicator yet that Chicago Police Department are treating the attack, in which Smollett claims he was mobbed by a group of men, actually two, wearing MAGA hats and chanting abuse with a sense of skepticism. Now, I'm not sure where the thing about the MAGA hats came into it, because not even the TMZ report said anything about them wearing MAGA hats. But you know how that little game of telephone goes when people are starting to talk about something, and then someone tells someone else something, and then someone else tells someone else something, and then all of a sudden all these new details show up. That showed up in a report far subsequent to the, that's probably just a Twitter rumor because the MAGA hats have been in the news quite a bit lately thanks to, what are those little dudes from Kentucky? You know who those are. Anyway, so the MAGA hats were never part of it. The original report from TMZ was the only one that had this information that said it was two white guys wearing ski masks and they yelled out the MAGA thing. That's the only place that report came from. It wasn't in the original police report. That's why the police went back to talk to Jussie Smollett again. Anyway, back to this. Police are investigating the incident and are said to be subpoenaing Smollett's phone records, and the actor claimed to have been on the phone with his manager during the event. He's thus far refused to allow police to examine his phone, possibly substantiating or disproving his claims. Oh, the other thing too, the video of him going into the building, not only did he still have his phone after this vicious, brutal attack, he also still had his leftover Subway sandwich with him. In 60 seconds. Gone. It should have been gone in 60 seconds. I know, that's a dad joke. That's a dad joke. I tell dad jokes on this channel. Thanks for those of you who have never been here before. I tell dad jokes. You just have to get used to it. Join me every morning, Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 a.m. Central. Okay, so enough of the Jussie update. I'm going to give you a couple other quick articles to run through here. Normally I do Twitter trends, but we're going to skip that today because I have two articles that I wanted to take a quick look at. One, Cindy McCain. Now, this is interesting. Phoenix police dispute Cindy McCain's claim of human trafficking at airport. Now, I'm not sure what Cindy McCain did to have this story come out. It seems like there's a lot of, maybe they want some distractions from other things happening to certain governors and lieutenant governors and attorney generals in the state of Virginia. And maybe they think talking about Cindy McCain will take that away. But she did make a claim a few weeks ago. I'm trying to think of when this was. Last week, Phoenix police disputed Cindy McCain's claims that she witnessed human trafficking at Sky Harbor International Airport last week. Phoenix Police Sergeant Armando Carbajal told KTAR News 92.3 FM on Wednesday that they conducted a welfare check on a child at the airport Thursday at McCain's request. During the call, officers determined there was no evidence of criminal conduct or child endangerment, he said. The McCain Institute said in a statement Thursday that McCain had devoted her career to fighting human trafficking. So basically, she made this claim because she was on an airplane and I think she was tweeting about it. And I don't think she followed up with the police. She just thought she got it right, and apparently she didn't. So she's going to end up probably as a topic this week because people are going to be ridiculing her. Let me put some out about this that I personally believe. Cindy McCain has a foundation dedicated to help stop human trafficking. Good for her. She made a mistake, but I know that she's just going to get dragged. So it is what it is. So, oh my gosh, everyone's taking off. Oh, Reason had to take off. I was having, didn't pay attention to the news reporting. I should pay attention to the chat more. Yeah, 60 seconds. I'm going to just, let me get into the chat because I kind of skipped that. 60 seconds, that's a small window of time. It sure is. This sounds like he's hiding something from his friend and it got way out of hand and real quick, and his manager is helping him hide a lie. You know, and that's what a lot of people are talking about, especially there's a dude called Joe Budden who has a big podcast, of black folk like me, and he thinks it's some freaky shit that went wrong, and they're just trying to hide it with something else that'll get people riled up. The truth is going to set somebody free, but I don't think that's going to be Jussie Smollett. All right. So anyway, Cindy McCain's obviously going to be attacked. I'm sure if you go on Twitter, you'll be finding plenty of people try to drag Cindy McCain. And the last one. Oh, by the way, if you're a baseball fan, Frank Robinson, he was a player, and he was actually more known as a manager when he was with the Baltimore Orioles. He passed away at 83 years old. Let's see. Yeah, and also he was the first black manager in Major League Baseball. Had a great career. So rest in peace, Frank Robinson. And all right, then the last one I'm going to do. Unfortunately, I have to keep this stream short today, but like I said, I'm here Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. The last one is this interesting little bitty from Yale University. And I'm just going to read this, and it's just one of these, what is this world coming to things. This is by someone named Isis Davis Marks, and it's called Evil is Banal. I don't even, how do you say that word? Banal? Anyway, listen to how this starts. Everyone knows a white boy with shiny brown hair and a saccharine smile that conceals his great ambitions. He could be in Grand Strategy or the Yale Political Union. Maybe he's the editor-in-chief of the news. He takes his classes, he networks, and when it comes time for graduation, he wins awards. One day I'll turn on the television, or who knows, maybe televisions will be obsoleted by this point, and I'll see him sitting down for his Senate confirmation hearing. Yes, he'll be a little bit older, with tiny wrinkles sprouting at the corners of his eyes, and a couple of gray hairs jutting out of the top of his widow's peak. But that smile, that characteristic saccharine smile, will remain the same. When I'm watching the white boy, who is now a white man by this point, on CNN, I'll remember a racist remark that he said, an unintentional utterance that he made when he had one drink too many at a frat party during sophomore year. I'll recall a message that he accidentally left open on a computer, or when he forgot to log out of iMessage, where he likened a woman's body to a particularly large animal. Like Tess Holliday? Sorry, that's an aside. I'll kick myself for forgetting to screenshot the evidence. When I'm watching him smile that smile, I think that I could have stopped it. No, not everyone at Yale is evil. Not everyone is out to get you, and not every request to get a meal has an ulterior motive. But I felt particularly introspective as graduation approaches. The Kavanaugh trial was months ago, but still has an indelible effect upon me. Upon seeing the recent movie, Vice, the thought of my classmates' futures actions came to my mind again. I won't get into the specifics of the movie here, but it discusses how certain foreign policy decisions made by the Bush administration endangered the lives of Iraqi citizens and made insurgency movements worse. Dick Cheney attended Yale for a time too, even if he didn't actually graduate. It put the power of this institution in perspective. It led me to reckon with the fact that many of us will become extremely influential. Some of our peers will sit in war rooms with red buttons, capable of making life or death decisions in a split second. All of these things made me ask myself, what will the classmates who made those unintentional utterances, those subtle racist remarks, those assaults towards women, be doing on the eve of our 15th reunion? Will they be high officials, CEOs of large companies, presidents even? Probably. What is to be done about this situation? I'm not sure that the administration cares much about changing it. Surely Yale needs rich and notable alumni to donate in order to keep the school afloat. But what do I know? I'm not in charge of the endowment. I don't write the glossy pamphlets touting the seemingly countless resources that Yale has to offer. Don't worry, this doesn't go much longer. The problem begins far before our classmates graduate, and we need to call them out on their transgressions, boldly and publicly. Anna Bleck's 19 column on Daniel Tenerio Braschi 19 was a good example of this. We should make instances of sexual assault and harassment public knowledge. Whisper networks, which are known as private chains of information which pass along knowledge of sexual assault, are useful but insufficient in spreading the information about indiscretions. I think that we need to continue to call our classmates out, but it's still not enough. After all, it wasn't enough to stop Kavanaugh's confirmation. To be honest, I'm not sure what the solution is. This expands beyond vocalization problems about sexual assault. The core of this problem has to do with our values. The problem isn't just the Yale administration. The problem isn't just the Yale administration. It's Yale students. We allow things to skate by. We forget, we say, no, he couldn't have done that, but he's so nice. No questions are asked when our friends accept job offers from companies that manufacture weapons or contribute to gentrification in cities. We merely smile at them and wave as we walk across our residential college courtyards and do nothing. 30 years later, we kick ourselves when it's too late. But I can't do this anymore. I can't let things slip by. I'm watching you, white boy, and this time, I'm taking a screenshot. This bitch is going to be watching people and taking screenshots of the shit they put on their computer. This is a parent. This. Oh my God. This is a paranoid human being. It was crazy. What? Chat? I'm just going to read. What do we got here? Yeah, what a sad world that poor writer lives in. You know, everything. This is the busybody who's going to be following you around in the library if you're at school, or following you around when you're having a beer with your friends in the bar, and taking recordings and taking pictures just so they can throw it in your face 20 years later when you're in the confirmation hearing for Secretary of Energy at Yale. These schools scare me, folks. This shit scares me. Okay, I gotta that's it for today. That shit scares me. I don't like it. But that's it for today. Hey, here's the deal. Read that last line again and substitute white for black. I know, I'm sorry. If you watch this show long enough, you know one of my favorite things to talk about, or besides Jussie Smollett, are the grievance grifters, the Sean Kings of the world, the Tariq Nasheeds, Linda Sarsour, the people who tend to perpetuate and encourage constant grievance, constantly. Sean King has become. I guarantee that dude he's probably a millionaire by now, just because now that he's been able to monetize. He monetizes racism. He needs racism to make money. He needs racism for attention, and he needs to find it wherever he can so that he can bring more attention to him and be able to raise more money and be able to, like I said, I call them grievance grifters, and that I'm going to start using that hashtag, and maybe that'll catch on, because that's exactly what he is. And this is one of those people. They're looking for something to be hateful about. And right now, I don't say that it's if you just mind your business, you're probably not going to get affected by these people. A majority of people don't, but apparently there's a full court press on cis white dudes, whatever, but in some circles and some magazine that said black men are the white men of the community. I mean, everyone's just trying to get their level of grievance, their level of intersectionality, their oppression, the oppression pyramid, and everyone's trying to keep adding to their oppression pyramid. Everyone wants to be oppressed. Everyone wants to be oppressed. Everyone wants to be offended. Everyone wants to have outrage. There is capital in outrage, and it drives me insane. And you're gonna find me talking about that a lot on this stream. If you're new here, that's the Jussie Smollett story is the epitome of one of those outrage stories that just makes me insane. And we're going to go through, starting next week, I'm also going to be going through some other fake hate crimes that have happened over the last few years that just have all been found false, but that still are urban legend. They're still a legend. People still talk about them as though they actually happened. So that's what we do on the Morning Night Live. We talk about the news. We talk about what's happening in the world. We talk about the trends of the day. Usually you'll talk about Twitter trends. It's just so hard for me to say. That alliteration really knocks me out. But you're going to hear about what people are going to be talking about the rest of the day. So for those of you who are new here, thank you so much for stopping by. For those of my regulars, thank you again. Here, let me just do a little transition here. I didn't do any transitions today. I'm going to have to work on that. I got to get better at that. I'm just learning this whole OBS thing. So it's, I've kind of been self-taught and I'm figuring it out. But anyway, this is the end of the show. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you coming. In the future, if you are so inclined, I do have a Streamlabs account. You can find that down in the description below. And if you'd like to donate, that's great. Or if you want to, I'll do super chats through that since I'm not monetized through YouTube. But even better, right now, right down here, whoops, turn it that way. Right down here is that share button. If you're looking on a computer monitor, or if you turn your phone the other way, you'll see the share. Hit that share, however you want to share it, through Twitter, Facebook, or whatever you use. That would be fantastic. Everyone says you sound like Polly. Well, I don't, I don't sound like Polly during the day because I can talk full voice. A lot of times when I do Monkey in the morning, it's really early in the morning and my wife's sleeping, and I usually have my studio set up in the other room upstairs. Right now, I'm in a different room in the house. My wife's not here. I can talk normal, but I can talk in that really deep voice like Polly does every once in a while, and sometimes it just sounds like this. So whenever I want to sound like Polly, I just talk like this. So there you go. Anyway, so everyone hit the like button, hit the share button, and thank you so much for being here. My name is Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.